Hey, what's up, YouTube? My name is Jesse. I go with a Veteran Flipper on YouTube, and today is Monday morning. I'm getting ready to pull some orders, package my items up to get them shipped out today. All the items that sold this past weekend. But I figured I haven't done one of these videos in a while, one of these Wednesday videos. I get different feedback on them. Honestly, the overall success of these videos, they don't always do the best. But I know that some people like them, so I figured we'd go ahead and do one today. And I figured we go over some comments that I've gotten and go over a little bit of shipping as always. I think before I start pulling and packaging orders, I think I'm going to go ahead and run and get some boxes because I'm pretty much out of smalls. Don't have the most amount of mediums, and I do have a decent amount of large, and I don't have too many large items going out, but I like to have a nice variety. So I got a Dollar General literally right down the road from me. So I just got back from picking up a few boxes. I don't have too many smalls going out. I got a bunch of medium items going out and some large items, so got plenty of boxes to get my packages shipped out today. And I went ahead and put up these Halloween lights yesterday, trying to get in the Halloween spirit. We're huge Halloween fans around here. But this is the first item I got going out, is this CRT TV. This is the Montgomery Ward. I don't think I've ever sold that brand before as far as these old tube TVs go. A little broken piece on the top of the antenna. Otherwise, the TV worked just fine. And I picked this up at the state sale 2 weeks ago for 30 bucks. And someone offered me $90. So I got $90 plus shipping. Making really good money after fees. Stick around towards the end. I'll show you how I ship this, mainly because I know people are scared of shipping items like this. But to be honest, I think as long as you package it right, double box it, whatever you got to do, add some cardboard scrap or whatever, you can ship these and it'll get to the buyer just fine. But you got to package these well, especially to protect this front side right here. But I'll talk about that later on in the video. But very happy with that sale. Didn't know what I was gonna get, so that's why I felt comfortable paying $30 for that. Alright, so if you've seen Sunday's video, you saw me pick up a box of like postcards, and I had a bunch of like small little, items like this in it. And this little poem book right here was in really nice condition. Early 1900s, little poem book. And yeah, this right here sold for $9.99. So very happy with that for the amount of work that I put into that box. It really was a fun box to go through. And inside that box was some comic books. And it is the Lobster Man. It was a set of 7 books. Not all in the best condition, but for the most part, 1 through 7 are here. And they're in decent condition. And, individually, these would not sell, but selling comic books in a lot, you can get a few dollars for them. And I sold this lot right here for $20 plus shipping. To be honest, I'm probably just going to ship it in this box that it's already in. That works out perfect. Okay, so I've said this before, but it's been a while since I said it, so I'm going to go ahead and say it again. I know that there's some YouTubers out there, they'll go to a yard sale and, they'll find some stuff, and by the time you see it, it's like, oh, it seemed like they sold everything, or they sold a bunch of stuff that they found in the video. But some YouTubers, their videos come out 3-4 weeks, sometimes 2 months after they already went to that yard sale. So they've had more time and opportunity to sell those items. And that's not anything against them. It's just that's not the case for me. These yard sales that I go to, they're more recent. I know some YouTubers, they have sponsorship deals, so they have to wait like a week before they can actually post their video because they need their sponsors to review their videos, in detail or whatever. But that's not the case for my channel. It's like typically I go to a yard sale, you might see that footage come out within a couple days, But I just want to go ahead and say that because that last Sunday's video, I picked up these little glass horses, set of 2 of those. I picked those up for $15. And it takes time for these videos to upload to YouTube. Sometimes I will literally sell something the morning that a video is coming out, and you will see that in the video. So that's why sometimes it might be marked as paid but not shipped, because it literally just sold, and I want to get I want the video to be up to date as possible. But these literally sold as I was uploading the video. I was like, man, they could have literally just sold like 30 minutes sooner, you would have already seen that these sold $40 plus shipping. These two horses right here, they sold very quickly. Like I said, you know, the turnaround on my videos, they are very quick compared to some other YouTubers. And like I said, that information is just, it's very, like this book right here, I think literally sold like not too, like right before the video came out. These right here were paid for right that the morning that the video came out. I believe that these were paid for. Like, the turnaround is very quick. So sometimes I'd be like, oh yeah, that might take them 3 months to sell that. And it's like, no, I priced these right. I could have priced these a lot higher and sat on them for a couple months, but stuff like this can sell quickly. I haven't done the best with glass, so I really try to get a better deal when I can. All right, so I just packaged up those other items. This is the last one I'm going to package before I start pulling orders. I try not to fill up the table too much. I like to pull some orders, package, pull some orders, package, so on and so forth. But this is the last one I got to package before I start pulling orders. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. But before we get into that, shipping is like got to be one of the more difficult things to do when it comes to reselling. That's why I make so many videos about shipping, because I've gotten so many comments and questions about shipping. If an item was this big and was not fragile, approximately this big, you see how big this thing is in relation to my hand. If an item was this big and if it wasn't that fragile, I probably would calculate about 2 pounds for packaging materials. That's box, packaging material, etc. But because this is a fragile item and I'm going to add a little bit more boxes and cardboard to protect the body of this, and especially this this dome right here, I usually calculate about 3 pounds for packaging. So when I go to create my listing, I go to weigh this, right? We set this on the scale, and it comes to 17 pounds. The shipping that I would charge is 20 pounds, for example. And then the dimensions, whenever I go to shoot it'll be hard to do this with one hand, but whenever I go to measure this out, I'm going to measure approximately 2 inches past each side of it. So let's just say whatever that comes to, 18 by 16 by 14, whatever that is. That's how I charge for shipping. I'm almost positive that some people are charging way too much for shipping, maybe because of the weight that they're factoring in. And I heard a YouTuber the other day say this. I'm not going to call them out, but I think they're charging way too much for shipping, and I know a lot of people are. And obviously you want to make sure that the item gets there safe. I've shipped a lot of TVs. I've shipped a lot of fragile items. You want to make sure it gets there safe. But realistically, if you had the most solid box, you probably even could get away with going like an inch past the item. If this thing was like, I'm talking solid packed, like, almost like plywood. That I'm just saying you could. Would I do that? No. The way that I do it, it's worked for me, and I've shipped a lot of these, and that's just how I do it. But the other day I heard someone say that the packaging was going to be like 10 pounds, and I'm like, that's crazy. And then I imagine that there's probably some people that are charging like 4 inches on each side, and it's overkill, and it might not ever sell. And that's what I was kind of talking about in that video where I picked this TV up, where I said, I was like, hey, if you're charging too much for shipping, you're not going to sell it. The second thing I do want to mention, and I've said this multiple times, and I'm going to stand by it, and that is if you do not accept returns, I'm telling you right now, if I was looking for that TV on eBay, and I see that you do not accept returns, there's no way I'm buying from you. And I know a lot of people that feel that way. I guarantee, I just know a lot of people. But that's your prerogative. I'm sure I've heard of plenty of people I've talked to, and they make a really good living without accepting returns. But for me, I wouldn't do it. But this same TV was listed from a seller that did not accept returns. And I definitely do think all those people that were watching that item, I guarantee that was a huge thing that would probably stop them from making an offer. Okay, so I found a box that is going to be big enough and perfect for the length and for the width. Lengthwise, there's probably about 2 inches on each side on the length. Can't really tell a whole lot, maybe because of the lighting. And maybe only an inch on these sides. But you don't really need a whole lot much more than that. And this box right here is not the most solid, but we're definitely going to reinforce this. You can tell this box is kind of flimsy, but this right here will give us the shape that we need, and then we just got to reinforce it with some cardboard scrap. The box wasn't quite where I needed on the height, but that's fine. Typically, as long as the length and the width is good, then what we can do is just add some more cardboard box to the top. So it's got the boxing all around. We got our box taped up nice and good. And I'm going to put, I like to put a little bit of, like I said, this box is kind of flimsy. I'm going to put cardboard scrap all around this item. So put some cardboard scrap on the bottom. Lay down some bubble wrap. Lay down some bubble wrap. Doesn't need to be perfect. And then put our item right in there. Like I said, it is definitely a little bit short on the height, but that's fine. We'll just have to add a box to the top. Okay. Perfect. There. Little tape there. Okay. Now we got plenty of room to add more boxes as we so please. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some cardboard like this. Look at that. I've done this so well, and it literally gets so much structure on the sides. And then I'm going to fold this over the top and fold this down to that other side as well. I don't know. This works just extremely well. It just does. And the thing about it is this will make it more solid than any box you'll buy online. But I mean, if you want to listen to people that only sell comic books and baseball cards, then go ahead. But I'm showing you how to ship a TV right here. And then, like I said, I get worried about that dome. So I like to put some cardboard in front of that dome as well to make sure that it doesn't get damaged. All right. And then I'm going to put some cardboard in the back. And I get this cardboard, these scraps. They're already like this at the Dollar General. I just grab like a big stack of them, and I use them for stuff just like this. There we go. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Beautiful. And I'm going to put some cardboard in the back as well. So we got reinforced cardboard around this entire thing. That thing is solid. Then we'll just fold it up and tape it shut. So you want to keep it nice and tight. That thing is packaged tight. Tight. You're not going to package it any better by going to U-Haul or wherever you get your boxes from. This thing is packaged very solid. Some people say that the fragile stickers don't even get looked at, but I still put them on there. It's dirt cheap to buy a roll of fragile stickers. The last thing that we would want is someone to be expecting a video game lot or something and they get a TV delivered. So that's why we always take our pen and we write what the item is. Literally. Remember that we said that we would charge £3 approximately for packaging material. Let's throw it on the scale and see what it comes to. All right, check that out. We're at 19.4. If you're new to reselling, you want to make sure that you definitely round up. So we're going to round up to 20 pounds. So like I said, 2.5, 3 pounds worth of packaging material, but that's just enough to make sure that what I charge the buyer is what it's going to cost me to ship that item. Obviously, we still got to put in the dimensions. These next 3 cells, I just pulled these down in the dungeon, so I went ahead and just pulled all of the ones that are downstairs. And this first one right here is this classic rail train set. I didn't get what I wanted for these. I was hoping to get like 40, 45 bucks and just didn't quite get what I wanted. Got about $11 into this one. This one sold for $30 plus shipping. The fees on this was only like $6. So honestly, I'm making like $12 profit, something like that. So not really worth it, but like I said, you know, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes I like to just take a chance on items. This Yamaha display right here, this one I picked up at a yard sale for $10. Sold this for $50 plus shipping. Someone sent me an offer on that. Very happy with the profit on that. That's another reason why I have a hard time letting go of not selling electronics, because the profit margin is great. I feel like the last like 2 yard sale videos, I feel like I've picked up some electronics that were questionable, especially the Casio keyboards. Sometimes they work out. Sometimes everything works on those things, and sometimes they don't. So that's why you got to get the stuff cheap. But this right here, if it didn't work out, it wouldn't have been the best purchase, but it did work out. And 10 into 50, I can do that all day. And testing this stuff is super easy. This ornament right here, it's about time to get that Christmas stuff ready. We are approaching fourth quarter like in any day now. I picked up a bunch of ornaments, very, very cheap a while back. And this one I probably got like maybe 50 cents into. Maybe not even that, like a quarter. And this right here sold for $7 plus shipping. I'll take it all day. And honestly, the amount of time that it takes to package that and the fulfillment, super easy. Here, check this out. I just wanted to show this real quick. So this thing right here is already in its own styrofoam. So you don't need a few inches on each side of the box for packaging. This box right here literally fits perfectly over this. So therefore, I should do really good on the shipping. Might even make a few bucks. Like I said, sometimes I make a few dollars and sometimes I lose a few dollars. But if you check this out, it's literally perfect. Perfect size box all around. And all I got to do is just cut down the height. Just got done putting those other items in the car. Got shipping labels put on them. Did well on the shipping on all of them. So this next sale right here, this was a bulk buy of this roadside stuff that I picked up at that indoor yard sale. I did so well at that yard sale. About to drop that. But this right here, I got about $5 into this, and I did so well on that stuff that the profit on this, I honestly don't care, because when you buy a big lot of stuff, you're not meant to make a whole lot of money on all of it. If you do, then kudos. You know, like that Hawthorne Village stuff that I picked up. What was it, last summer? Did so well on that, but and other deals like that. But not every deal works out when you buy a huge lot of stuff. Like this right here only sold for $14 plus shipping. I paid $5, so not a good flip individually if I just bought just this item. But I bought a bunch of stuff and I made hundreds and hundreds of dollars on that stuff. So cannot be mad about it. This right here took longer to sell than I thought it was going to sell, because I picked this up not this past Saturday, which would have been 2 days ago, but the Saturday before that. So this took, actually, I gotta actually check the date when this sold, but this took a week to sell. That, for me, that's a pretty long time. These actually usually sell within like a day or two. But not complaining, but I'm just saying there are items out there that I know will sell ridiculously fast. And one of them is the Brother Fax 575. These are relatively easy to test. And list, ship, everything. So these are definitely worth looking out for. I paid $5 for that. And the woman asked me, she's like, have you ever heard of one of those before? I just thought it was so funny. My response was, yeah, I sell like 20 of those a year. I have absolutely no problem telling someone that I am going to resell an item. I usually get about $45 for those, and that's what I got for that one right there. Sometimes I get 50, depending on if you have like the manual and like some accessories to go with it. You might get around there. There's been times where I consistently would get 60, 55, 60, but lately I've been getting about $45, and they sell super fast, and it's just a really quick flip, especially if you don't mind taking a few minutes to test it. But those are the sales I got going out today. I'm just there's a few more topics I want to get into, but I'm going to save those for the next video that we do of one of these. If you got anything from this video, please consider smashing the like button. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. The Veteran Flipper out. Peace.